Yes, Kyron, do not call in. Hey, how's everybody going? Yeah, we need to have just call in and talk about any of the anything you want to talk about. All these different cases we've been covering. Now, here's the thing: is last night on the show, at the very end, when I was covering the Allison Watterson case, I've told you guys there was an item found, and this lady that was showing me down this road drove up and in her conversation mentioned an item. I can't tell you if that is or not, but I don't want it discussed on here, okay? So that was a mistake of mine. I didn't even realize she was saying that. I was just playing the video really to show you guys the road, and then she started talking and she mentioned something. All right, so I removed that video. Unfortunately, got a lot of hate from some people out there. I'm just trying to help out everybody. I'm not out there. I don't spend all the hours out there like, oh yeah, wow, my sub count. Like, here's the truth. When I covered the Allison Watterson case, I get less views. Okay, like less people watch because they all want to watch the Baby Evelyn, Gannon Stauch, and the other cases that are going on right now. I cover that one because I want to. Okay, and I think it's important to get it out there, and it's interesting as well. Yeah, I didn't do it on purpose, but they made it seem, and one of them was like, oh god, I don't even want to really go into it. It's just really messed up shit. Honestly, it was. I mean, Misty's been cool about it. It's just some other people out there. Yeah. But right now, the Gannon Stauch case is turning into the Chris Watts 2.0. The same whack jobs covering it, just over and over ad nauseum, using the case for views. Going out there and pretending they really care a lot, but at the same time wanting reporters to show up too to make sure that they captured the. It's like, come on, let's get real here, people. I'm drinking Diet Coke. It's just Diet Coke. What about you, Pat? What are you drinking? Right. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so I went golfing today. Didn't play quite as good as last week, but yeah. Didn't even play that well last week either. Yeah, it's just a shitty feeling when you
We appreciate you, man.
People just crap that they say to you if you make a mistake. It literally was a mistake. They're like, quote, mistake. Yeah. So what I did was I got a hold of the neighbor and I said, hey, listen, when you drive down the road, I want you to stop your car and I want you to get out of your car and cleverly mention the item and I'll pretend I didn't hear it. Okay? I mean, any lunatic that thinks that was intentional means you are a lunatic. Okay? That's the truth. Hey, thanks, Kyron. Yeah. All right, good. Diet Coke. Yeah, well, it sucks because it's actually like some other family members out there, It's just sort of like, yikes, Yeah, sorry for, keeping the story alive on social media for you, It's like, it's just really mind-boggling that somebody would say some of the shit that was said. But other than that, I'm going to keep covering the case because it's important. And nobody can tell me that I can't cover it. I can do whatever the hell I want, It's a free world out there. Well, not anything that I want, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, and I think it's important too. I know the case. I know most of the. Obviously, don't know all the facts in it because there's stuff that they have that they haven't released. But I'm at least trying to put it all together for everybody. Yeah, it's unbelievable. You know, guy puts air quotes around me saying that it was an accident. Like, oh, yeah, because I did that on purpose. Yeah, that's right. It's ridiculous. And I remember even on the show, somebody said the thing, and I went, what do you... Wow, who said that? And you go, oh, they said it. And I was like, what do you mean? I didn't even know that that lady said it because I wasn't paying attention. To her, it was more about the road that she was driving me down. Yeah, no, it's crazy, Sherlock Hemlock. It's amazing. You know, the issue with it was that it was sort of, they wanted it to be kept private. So it's my fault, okay? I just didn't do it intentionally. Yeah, not really interested in that, though.
Good lord, can't shake my head enough. People get riled over the wrong things.
Yeah. Yeah, if anybody comes to the channel and tries to sell their channel, hasta la vista. Okay? You just never do that. That's like YouTube 101. Let's see. If the user wants to promote your channel, then that's great. Yeah, well, the thing is I should have looked at the video first, seen what was said on it. I just didn't remember anything like that being said when she pulled up next to me. So that was my responsibility. I take responsibility for that. I just don't, you know, I didn't deserve some of the comments made by some people out there. Yeah. Green O. No, it's a channel member is how you get the green. YouTube channel member. Patreon's totally different. And Patreon people have a special place for me because they've contributed all this time, and I really don't have time to do all of the extra things that, you know, the tiers and all that shit. I just don't. And they've just donated all these years and months, you know, well, more like months, I would say, like 15 months or so, year and a half. Without really nobody's ever complained. Nobody says, hey, Gray, what about my benefits or anything like that. They just support the channel because they like it. Yeah. And thanks Sherlock Hemlock and Kyron up there. Thank you. I don't know what you're talking about, Richard Watts. No idea. See, there you go. I made it red. Isn't that easier to see now? Girl code. It's got the red symbols in there. I don't even know what that means. I have no idea, Richard. Sorry. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's perfect for that. It's actually, you can see it. You can kind of tell what it means. Oh, look, there's code. Now, that's you, Jennifer, but I think everybody else can tell what it means. Yeah. Notice how everybody else liked it? Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, we covered that the other day on the show, that she attacked somebody when it happened. Like I was one of the first YouTubers to put that out there. Nah, never talked about TriCam. I think you're thinking of somebody else, Richard Watts. I should have realized by your last name that something, whoa, might be a little off right there. Yeah, talk about 3D, sure, yeah. But when you say TriCam might give that depth, no. There's going to be no depth on the Delphi footage, if that's what you're talking about. It is what it is. Just look at it. If you recognize the person, call it in. Yeah. But I'm still going to, for the Watterson case, I'm still going to donate, and I'm still going to go do what I do, try to figure things out. Might get less information over time, but that's just how it's going to be. Well, he's not in prison, but I don't know. I don't have any status on Ben. I just explained it all, Juju Positive. I just went over the whole thing. I don't know what they're doing. I think they're probably... What they need to do is give... Like, take the death penalty off the table or something for Tisha if she says where he is or something like that. Hey, thanks, Jen Richards. Oh, do I have it on... oh, maybe I have it on rewind again, don't I? Shoot. Yeah, well. Yep, I have it on DVR mode. Darn it. Okay. Well, I just turned off DVR mode, so if you guys want to refresh, you know, should turn it off. Yeah, it was just sort of a really bummer. And then there's this other YouTuber. He's just using the Gannon Stauch case, just like he always did on other cases. It's just really, I get so disappointed. And then I get really disappointed when I see that person with people that watch my show in their chat, like, yeah, wow, this is great. This, you know, it's just, wow. The guy is right there with Greeno. Same ballpark, you know, same type of guy. And it's just one of those things that gets depressing. But you can't, you know, can't tell people what to watch. It just is what it is. I know, Sassmare, I just said that. The rewind mode, I turned it off, though. If you hit refresh, it'll probably be off, I would imagine. Although I don't know if that works like that. Seems like that would be something you have to do at the beginning. You mean chasing Ben and Allison? Yeah, I think that very well could have been. You know, I have the phone lines are open though. See up there? You guys can call in and we could communicate these things. Or just talk about whatever the hell case you want to talk about. I'm just like, that whole situation earlier just burned me out mentally. It was like, you know, you think you're helping people, and, you know, to hear some of the shit that was written just was like, it had the mental feeling of this. Yeah. I am tired. Just more mentally drained. I just explained it. What do you mean you're lost, Daisy Jane? What does that mean? God, whenever somebody types like that, I always feel like they're a troll. You know, like you just come into a group, nobody knows who the hell you are. Your first comment is, I'm lost. Well, good. You'll always be lost on this channel. Go watch a different one. I don't know. I don't understand a comment like that. Yeah, it really is. It's very draining. Honest to God, it's just so many things are draining. Okay, you know, the minibus guy, you look at his videos, they're so hypocritical of the way he really is. And then you get over here and you know, just watching this other guy that just uses, he's like, oh, I really care about Gannon. I really care about Gannon. Now the media should show up really quick to watch. They're supposed to be here right now. Oh, darn it. And people sit there, wow, you're so great. Really? Really? Wow. It was all about the media showing up. That's what it was about. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Just in time to get... Yeah, peace out, Boomer Pal. You're exactly the type of person I'm not interested in having here. Thank you. Have a good day. Yeah, she at least understood what I was... You know, I apologize. She said that's fine. Everything's cool, but... Oh, hold on. 309.
What up, Gray?
Hey, what's going on? Who's this?
No, this is Sarah Jackson. I talked to you a few times before. I started calling you back.
You're hard to make out, though. Your voice is really muffled.
Oh, hold on. Is that better?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, how you doing?
Pretty good. What's going on?
What was it? I just got home, so I just tuned in. So, is it okay to call about anything, or are we calling about a specific case?
We can call about anything.
Well, you look down, Gray. Don't be down.
Well, I am down. I'm just saying, I was sort of down. I was kind of coming on here to, you know, tell you what I was thinking and say how I messed up on that thing, but I didn't really deserve to be treated like that. And at the same time, it was, you know, it's good to come on and, you know, work through it, I guess.
Which case did you feel like you messed up on?
Well, I didn't mess up on anything. Well, I mean, all I'm saying is I didn't notice that something was mentioned in one of the Allison Watterson videos that I videoed. You know, some lady drove by, talked to me out of her car, and said something that wasn't supposed to be out there. And I played it, but I didn't even realize she did it because I wasn't... Her video was just really showing this road. But anyways, go ahead. What did you want to talk about?
Oh, they're too hard on you. Yeah, people are hard on you, Gray. That's messed up.
Yeah.
But I think you do good work, and I don't trust anybody else as far as the true crime and YouTube. You know what I mean?
Well, thanks.
I tell my son that all the time. You can't let what other people think get you down.
Yeah.
And you don't seem like the type. What's in the cup?
Well, no, it's just Diet Coke. No, I'm just down today because it's really, you know, if you'd read if you read what was written, you'd be down too. It was like really messed up.
Oh,
shit. So
that's
anyways, yeah.
Well, anyway, everybody makes mistakes. I'm a true fan. Maybe you should put something in the cup though. Something else.
Yeah.
But so you covered my person. I live in a place where it's 7,000 people, and so you covered. We have one missing person. He's been missing since 2003, and you covered him before.
Mm-hmm.
And where he was last seen, it's been so long.
Well,
it's
who?
been 17 years. His name is Gary Swanson.
Yeah. That sounds familiar. I don't remember it, but.
What'd you say?
I don't remember it well, but I remember the name. That was part of the. I guess it was cold cases. That was back in September 2018. That was a long time ago. When I covered that.
Yeah, I listen every day, but I just don't really get in the chat much. So it kind of like here we have like, even that's the city, but like the county, we have literally like we have one missing person. That's Gary.
Mm-hmm.
He's been missing for 17 years, and his parents still live here. We have one unsolved murder, and she was murdered like way back when. But where the missing person, the one that's been gone for 17 years, that's it. You see that area?
Yeah.
So it bothers me because I think about him every day, and I know that's kind of weird, but nobody talks about it. It's not on the news. Nobody's like in, you know how like Allison Watterson, like her mom's out there and they're doing fundraisers and doing this and doing that.
Yeah.
And like Daybell, you know, like they're on the news and they're on Dateline, and like Evelyn, you know, like they're looking for the baby. It's on the news every day. Like this has been 17 years, and it's a small community, but nobody ever talks about it.
Right.
And you see that area right there. So his car was last seen there, and it was set on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one search done. There was like, as far as I can find, everything I can find, there was one search done in that area, and it's 80 to 100 acres of a wooded area. And the man that owns the land that bumps up against that land right there, he saw somebody in those woods that day, and he did an interview. And in the interview, he said that he was mowing his yard, and he saw somebody walking in the woods that day, and he checked around with everybody to figure out like all the people that could be walking in those woods, the neighbors, the man that owned the property, anybody else, is what he said in the interview. And it was nobody. So he said it was too far away. He couldn't see if it was that guy, but he definitely saw somebody walking in the woods. And so they did one search, and I think there was about 50 people in that area when he came up missing, and nobody's ever done anything else. And it just drives me crazy, because if the consensus is that he wanted to leave and he wanted to commit suicide, and that's why he left, and he was seen in the woods and never seen again, I feel like he went there to die. But I don't understand why people haven't gone back to search for the body. And with all the new technology and everything that we have, and dogs and everything, it's like, why? I don't understand, after 17 years, why nobody's tried to look in those woods. And it bothers me. And so I wanted to ask what you thought, because how do you decide whether to try to like start something or ask for help or try to figure out?
Well, why isn't his family doing anything like that?
What'd you say?
Why isn't his family trying to organize things like that?
I don't know. In a way, a lot of people felt like, okay, so he left a voicemail that told his family not to worry, that he'd be safe. Mm-hmm. They found his dog tied up in Aledo, Illinois, outside of a gas station with a bag of dog food. And he was hypoglycemic, and he was diagnosed with amnesia. But like, I guess when the case happened, people felt like he left to commit suicide, because his girlfriend broke up with.
But it's weird that you burned the car's burning.
Right. Why did you burn the car? Yeah,
I mean, you would just. Burning the car is usually when you're trying to hide some sort of DNA or something.
Evidence.
Evidence, you know. So you dry, you know. I mean, they should check. Yeah. How do you know they haven't checked all those woods right there?
I think I know everything published about the case. I don't know things that aren't published. I'm not sure. I know, like, I saw you do stuff where you get, like, Freedom of Information Act and stuff like that.
Yeah, and other people have gotten it for me. I don't even know exactly, you know, who to contact sometimes. It seems like it's always somebody in the legal field that has an easier time getting that kind of stuff.
Oh, I thought you got it, like, with Kanika. I thought you got the tapes and stuff.
Well, that one I did, yeah, because I contacted the attorney that had the he was the Freedom of Information Act attorney in Rosemont, and he's the one that gave us the hard drives. Or, you know, we had to pay $50 plus shipping.
Yeah, I remember when you did that. And so I think I could maybe do that, but like my question for you and like everybody that tunes in, like I don't understand why the family doesn't, and I kind of wonder if maybe they don't talk about it because they try to like bury it, or if they feel like maybe that their son left to commit suicide because that was like the talk, or people thought it, or there's like a sub on Reddit about it, and the consensus is like that he committed suicide.
Yeah.
So maybe they feel like they don't want to bother people.
Well, it could be something like that, but I don't know. You could try to contact a family member and just see if they'd be interested in doing a search in those woods.
So you think what I've thought about that, and then I've actually kind of reached out to met some like first cousins. So what do you think about that? Or does anybody on your channel have any input on something like that? If the family's not doing anything, do you feel like just let it go and they let it go and don't do anything? I feel strongly like that's one of our people, and we didn't bring him home, you know, and there's people, and I think you might have talked about one of the guys that they've gone missing for 20 years and had amnesia, and then they were found. They just didn't know who they were. Like, I always think that about him. Maybe that's the case, but there's...
Yeah, man, you sound like you really spent a lot of time on this one case. I don't have the luxury. I do cover some more than others, but I got to keep moving around. I think I covered this one, and to me it just looked like, wow, there's really no information, and that's about it. It's all, you know. There's certain cases when families don't go push and put out stuff. You just don't. There's nothing to work with, and then you can't really even cover it. I covered it. I don't know if you're the one that suggested it or whatever, but anyway.
Yeah, I did.
I got somebody else is on hold here though. If you want to, they've been on hold.
Okay,
they called right when you called in, so they've been on hold.
Oh, so now I feel bad. Okay, well,
no, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. What else do you have? Anything else you wanted to say at the end there? I'm just letting you know so that I don't want them to, we could just sit here and talk for 2 hours, but then they're going to sit there.
I'm going to say, well, I didn't hear the ding in my Kyron voice.
Yeah, because they called literally the same moment that you did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to tune back into the chat, and if anybody can help with what they think, if they think it would offend the family.
I don't think it would offend them at all. I think you should contact the family and just see what they're thinking, and if there's anything you can do to help, and see what they say.
And if they have their blessing, then the first thing you would start with is maybe try to find the team, like a team with the cadaver dog.
Yeah, maybe something like that. But it's been a long time, but yeah, they can still, I think, detect bones, and right, even after this much time. Yeah. Just get them. See if you can. Okay. I don't know. I'm sure there's some local groups that might go out, volunteer to help search those woods, but then you have to get permission from the landowners there, everything like that. So. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Gray.
Well, thank you.
Back into the chat.
Thanks for calling.
Okay.
You cheered me up. All right.
Yep.
All right. See ya.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. 503. You're on the air.
Hey, Gray.
Hello.
Hello. It's cleaning out the cobwebs.
Cleaning out the cobwebs. How's it going?
I always love calling your channel because when I call and I have to, wait, that caller was amazing. I loved hearing about that case. I've never heard of it, but my heart starts pounding. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm still alive, because I get nervous calling you.
Oh yeah, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to be nervous. Just a regular.
Oh yeah.
Regular person.
What?
Just a regular person doing a show that happens to be where you can call in.
Oh, I know, and I've called I think like 8 or 9 times.
Yeah.
So every single time I call, my heart gets going, right? So it's kind of like, oh, I'm still alive.
All right.
So my question was jail time for Ben Garland. So while I was waiting, I looked up on Washington County website.
Mm-hmm.
He has 15 charges against him, starting with 12/23, and then the last one is January the 27th of 2020.
What was the 1223 charge? Theft?
12/23 starts with a felony, fail to appear, first degree. 12/23.
Well, he was in the middle of the woods.
And then what's that?
On the 23rd, he was. That was Monday, right? I think. Let me go back. Let me go back and look. Yeah, that's a Monday. That's when he woke up in a car, and then he was driven back out there later by his dad. So, if he was supposed to appear in court, yeah, he didn't make it.
Oh, okay. So 12/23, unauthorized use of motor vehicle, fraudulent use of a credit card on.
Here, hold on 1 second. Yeah, hey, Running Fox. Yeah, you remember that wasn't me who said that. It was the lady in the car who pulled up next to me. She said an item, and you typed it in. Then I had to delete your comment, and then that wasn't supposed to make it. That stuff wasn't supposed to be out there. I don't know where, like why she just sort of said it there. I wasn't even paying attention to her when I was recording. I was just driving down the street with my camera recording, and then I pulled over next to her, and then she spoke, and it got recorded onto my mic. Okay, so that's how it worked. It wasn't some intentional weird thing. Okay, so go ahead. What were you saying again?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to make or break the case that the item is out there. Well, I didn't hear it, so that sucks. But for them to be, well, not them, I don't know who is. You said Misty was pretty cool about it.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't happy because, the detectives and everybody were upset about it and stuff. But it's, everybody out there is talking about it. Like everybody in the neighborhood. And I don't think it was bad for me. I actually went out there and figured out what it was by asking somebody. Okay? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that's what a reporter would do. And, I'm not saying I'm like the press, but I went out and asked, and I didn't share it. I kept referring to it as item all the time. You guys never knew what it was. I even told you that you guys, I know what it is, but I'm not going to be able to tell you. And it just happened to be this random person. I rolled down my window and, we had talked before, and I was following her down this road, which on the map right here is down this road right here, like this. Because it looks like, here's where the truck was left over in this area. And look how easy this route is. I mean, if you went down this road, maybe curved over here, and then all you'd have to do is walk through that little... I don't even know. How many yards is that? That's just nothing. Let me put that in there. Yeah, I mean, 400 yards, a quarter of a mile, just right there. It's nothing.
Jeez. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, so he's got 15 charges, huh? So you got the...
yeah, 15 charges.
So read them all off again. Let's see. What do we got?
Sure. So 12/23. So okay, fail to appear, first degree. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those, and then still on 12/23, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. 12/23, fraudulent use of a credit card. 12/23, theft, third degree. 12/26, possessive stolen vehicle. 12/27, firearm probation violation. 12/27, assault, probation violation. 12/27, probation violation. 12/27, unlaw use weapon, probation violation.
So the 227 assault one, does that mean he performed an assault on the 27th? Or is it just a I mean, what is that? Because that's even after, it's 4 days later.
Mm-hmm.
What is that saying again? Read that again.
Assault, and then it has a 1 and then a V. V is in victory. Probation violation.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and then
assault is
it's
assault.
1-3. 1227.545. Yeah. And then 1227. Oh, let's see. I already did that one. Okay, so then January the 6th, theft, second degree. And then January the 27th, still in 2020, criminal trespass, first degree.
Wait, what
And
was
then
that?
there's
27
no
criminal
schedule.
trespassing? What day was that?
Yeah, it says 01/27/2020. Criminal trespass, first degree.
01/20/27?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. That's like a month later.
Afterwards, yeah.
So was he free for a while then? Just out?
Ugh.
I thought he's been in jail this whole time since like the day that they brought him in. I wonder how he was out.
So I
doing-
wonder during the investigation they found out that he trespassed.
But wouldn't they charge
and
him for
then-
the day that he did it, or is it just the date that his charges were given to him? I mean, like,
don't
let's say
know.
he
I'm not
trespassed on the
criminal.
23rd, wouldn't they? I think you might be right. I think it's the day you get charged for it. So probably the fact
Yeah.
that he slept in the truck, they just said, hey, you know, we're now going to charge you for criminal trespassing and going into the pickup truck.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just loading him up with charges so that they can have more leverage on the guy. So what else is after that?
That was it.
Hmm.
That was it. So yeah, there's no scheduled release date. And then it just has a bunch of numbers, codes, criminal code that I don't get. Ha ha ha. Get it? Girl code. I do get that though.
Yeah. Come on, it's a good icon. It's a good icon.
It is. It is a good one. So yeah, that's it. So I was interested in that because I'm sure they're going to keep him for a while. That's good.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I thought. I figured out that it was probably the day that he's physically, you know, like they charge him as the charging date, but then that might refer to, hey, on December 23rd, you were in a vehicle, but you know, unlawfully, but the date charged is the date that you see there.
Yeah, and that probably goes with the timeline that they're forming, right, of what happened. Wait, I don't know. So
It was his jacket, the one that they found. She might have been wearing it. I don't remember now, but it was his jacket.
yeah, I thought that we thought that she was wearing the jacket. They were running, and then they put the jacket over the fence, and then they used it to not get scratched or whatever.
Well, it's hard to really know why it's
That's true.
on there. That's just a theory, like, oh wow, somebody's coming. And it could even got stuck on the barbed wire when you're jumping over it instead of trying to, you know, you see that in movies all the time, right? Like a piece of clothing gets stuck and they just shed the clothing and take off because it takes too long to untangle your clothing from the barbed wire. You just go, oh crap, forget it, and just leave it and take off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Not that movies are real or anything, but I'm sure that's based on something. I've never actually got stuck in a barbed wire fence, so I don't know if you shimmy out of your clothing and start running.
It is interesting. Yeah, it is interesting though that the jacket was just recently found because you guys have been out there doing so many searches.
Well, no,
all
the
that
jacket was found
there.
early on when they were doing the initial. There was just a new item that was found recently.
Oh, okay.
That's what I
okay.
got. That's what I
Gotcha.
got in trouble for because somebody mentioned it on the lady who drove up next to me mentioned it. Hey, thanks, Linda Howell and Sarah Jackson. Yeah.
You are still the best.
Sarah, it wasn't Sarah's the one that
That's
just called in, I think, right?
Oh, was that her?
think so, right? Isn't that you,
I
Sarah?
didn't catch her name because I had just came on right when she, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
appreciate
cool.
it.
She was really nice.
That's right. Yeah, well, we're building up so we can donate again. I'll probably be donating to the Allison Watterson through the Kyron Horman Foundation. Again, at the end of this month.
Yeah.
Regardless. You know.
Regardless, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, I just want to help out, you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Let's
it
see.
puts you in a bad situation because you're out there helping.
Yeah.
Obviously, people can see that you have cameras on you.
Right.
That's what you do. It's, you know, you're helping out the case. You have all these people watching and following and talking about it, and that's what we need. That's what the case needs. And then, unfortunately, whatever was said, and, you know.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, I was right here. Okay, so I was right. Let me just show you on the map here. I was right here again. I parked just 2 days ago, and I flew. I programmed a mission in my drone, and it flew all the way out. I just found this amazing 25-minute window of sunlight during downpours, and then it came back, and it landed here. And about that time, a lady that lives down in this right around here came driving up the road, started talking to me, telling me about this guy that lives there that, you know, broke into one of their houses through a window on meth, was running around with their clothes. I mean, it was just really creepy, you know. And then she said, hey, you know, maybe they went this way. So she had me follow her. So I drove back down this direction. And then we went down this way. And it actually made a hell of a lot more sense, to be honest with you, than this one. Because look at that. I mean, you literally, you go here, you just go down this right here, and then you're at this house, and then you just go a quarter mile through the woods, and then you're right around in the area where apparently the pickup was. Anyways, I was just driving, and then she pulled over to the side, and then I drive up next to her on the left. She even got out of her car, and I had my dashboard camera on recording what I'm saying, and then she starts talking and then mentions the item. And apparently that was intentional, you know, or unintentional with air quotes around it. I mean, who the hell would do that? Hey, listen. I really want to get this out, so here's what I need you to do. I need you to drive down this dirt road and get out, and I'll pretend that you know, it's ludicrous. Okay. So, yeah, it was a cool drone flight, though. I like
that would have been fun to see. And I say fun and I laugh because it's a sad situation, and that's how we cope with it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that sucks. Well, yeah, just keep being you, and
yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. It just sort of is a mental setback a little bit today, but whatever. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and you said you didn't golf great, so there you go. Bad day for great.
It wasn't terrible. It was just, you know,
okay.
I had 2 double bogeys, but then I had 2 birdies, and then I just went on this
and it was a nice day too.
Yeah, I had like a 5 bogeys in a row, sort of to end, and I ended up with 82. So I could have had a good score. Instead, it was just sort of very mediocre. You know?
Yeah, What Now just said, what would you gain from releasing that info? Nothing. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't get any more viewers, but that's what I was told, that, oh, you're just doing it for view counts. You're, you know. I go, no, when I talk about the case, I have less. And if I just put the word Gannon Stauch in the title, there'd be another 100 people here right now. You know, that's because there's people out there that just want to do it, but that's not what I do here, you know.
Yeah.
I don't just put it in there unless that's what I'm talking about.
So I did want to say something. You made a comment the other night about how this case doesn't get that much traction, and a lot of people don't talk about it, and you compared it to Missing Maura Murray.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Morris did a great job on their podcast talking about the crime scene podcast.
Which one was that? What are you talking about? The
Tim and Lance, missing Maura Murray. They had Morth on.
Oh yeah.
And he talked about the crime scene.
Oh, you mean scene of the crime? Our
Scene
podcast.
of the crime. Sorry.
Yeah, they mentioned it.
Yeah, you're right.
Did they mention it? Did he mention it multiple times? Because I just heard him when he first said, what I do. Did he talk about it later too? I missed that part.
Yeah, so he brought your name up in the beginning about, he mentioned everybody's names on who's a part of the podcast. Mm-hmm. And then Tim or Lance mentioned your name on how, like, you do, like, the exact measuring of where the girls were at, positioned on the bridge, and all the details that you do. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
They talked about that. So anyways, a couple nights ago you said, that it's a bummer that Allison's case doesn't get as much talk about as missing Maura Murray. And I was thinking about that, and I just wanted to say that missing Maura Murray, she's been missing for 16 years. And so I think that people talk about her and are fascinated with the case because it's been going on for so long, right? And she just vanished. Mm-hmm. And so it's been going on for so long. And then for Allison Watterson, it just recently happened. And so there's not that much traction on it, right?
Yeah, in some ways, though, I don't really... It's just, I don't want it to be one of those cases that turns into the shit show case where you get these same Chris Watts type YouTubers that pick up on it. That's what I don't like. Because they end up... They just destroy it. I mean, it's amazing. And you could say, well, everybody's out there. Everybody's helping when they cover. No, that it isn't true. When you get the conspiracy theory, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I try to, but you either just know what I'm saying or you don't. No,
and I totally get what you're saying. And what I feel like when I watch your shows with Allison Watterson and all the time that you've put into it, you're holding it close to your heart because you have invested so much time. It's close, it's close to our neck of the woods. And so you're protected of it. And you don't want those other loser, YouTubers out there to be,
amazing.
to even be even close to it because they won't do it any justice. And, like you have, I totally get it. I don't watch any of those YouTubers. I only watch you. So I don't know what they do. I'm sure they are awful, but I can't watch awful or listen to it. So I don't know. Muddy the waters, she said. Okay. So that was my thought process on why.
Yeah. Well, like, you remember the Tina
so
Losser, the Tina Losser case, right? That I randomly found the one time out of what the hell was it, Maryland? No, this is Tina Losser. I don't know. Now I don't even remember. It was something like shit. I can't remember what state it was. Here, I'll find it in just a second. It was in Delaware. Okay, so it was in Delaware, and that case nobody covered it at all. So I told Morph, hey, why don't you cover this thing? It's pretty interesting. So they did it on their the podcast that he does. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I don't mind that.
Well, of course, yeah. Those guys are good.
Yeah. They know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah. You just made me think of something. Oh gosh. Okay, so.
Yeah, Reyes is pretty interesting too. It has about the same level as Watterson. A lot of strange stuff going on there.
Yeah.
I think. See, I was trying to convince people to do a podcast on Prisma Reyes. I actually think you could easily do one with multiple episodes, like 8, easy. If you just interview the dad and try to get a hold of a bunch of the different friends and people, and you could easily do it. You know, wouldn't be difficult. Anyways, you got really quiet.
Really weird. Oh, sorry. I was just listening, and I was kind of reading some of the comments that were coming through. So I was thinking of the guy that is walking the streets in, is it Minnesota? Your other podcast. You're on your second season of it.
Oh, you mean with John Lorden?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one's
And
Lisa Gomez.
yes.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking of her husband, I guess we have to call him that. And he's just walking the streets, and I just listened to the most recent episode, and
Brad.
He's violent. Brad.
Yeah, he's crazy. I don't know.
Ugh.
It's a weird thing because, even after you go over it a long time, it's almost like he's responsible regardless, but did he actually do it? That's the thing that's tough. Did he kill her, or did she do it herself? It's still, even after the whole time going over it, you're just never 100% sure of anything. That's the problem. And you're quiet again.
Well, I was thinking this whole time that I've been listening to the podcast, that I was just like, yeah, he did it. But you've been there firsthand, and you think that you don't know.
It's just hard to know. I mean, you might think, oh yeah, he did it, just because we're talking about it, but forensically, I mean, there might be an episodes coming up here that might help suggest more. I'm just, I wouldn't be able to do the, let's see, like for example, I wouldn't be able to give him the death penalty or something like that, because there just wouldn't be enough. Now, if you had some forensic people in there and they could really show precisely what actually happened, then I could change my mind. But I don't, like, I'm like 60-40 that he did it, right? That's that's not really that great,
Wow.
Yeah. Because like, I've seen all the pictures, and it's just, the whole night's wild. There's just a lot of stuff that's not being told, and there's even, what's her name? The roommate. She says, "Oh, he did it." But then you read their text messages, and they were. It's just she's hard to trust either. That's the problem. She's just doesn't tell the truth a lot of times. Sharon is her name.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It makes me think of Christian with Sheila Wysocki in that case.
Andraki, or whatever his name is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cases like that. The Jonathan Cruz. I think that one's. I think that one, I'm like 90-10 that it was a murder. In that one, and thankfully,
that's an interesting one.
And I think they have it as. Undetermined in that one, I believe.
Oh, that's good.
I think. I can't remember. Hey, thanks, Sean Beecham. Yeah, we got to build up for next end of the month. The next donation.
Oh, big smiles! Wow. Okay.
What's that?
He says some big smiles and a couple of crowns.
All right. Well, I don't know if Sean Beecham is a. I think it's a lady, isn't it?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I think. Yeah. Now you got me wondering. I think it is.
Sending Gray some big smiles and a couple of crowns. Crown, smiling face with heart eyes.
That's what I thought, Sean Beecham.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But cleaning out
Now
the
I know.
cobwebs made me question my sanity.
I know, I do that. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
Well, sorry that,
Yeah, I don't mean to be. I know I'm really.
Yeah.
I'm a depressant today.
You know what? That's okay. You're on the air 7 days a week, and we
Yeah.
hear a cheerful gray hues all the time. It's okay to be down, and it sucks because you're not. I mean, you're a great investigator, but you're not like that's not your job, right?
Yeah.
And so, and you do have a lot going on when you're out there in North Plains. So I couldn't even imagine, like, even thinking twice about what somebody said and, didn't say or whatever. So
Yeah, I wasn't even paying really much attention, especially when I was playing it back, because I was just wanting people to see the road. I should have turned the volume down or something, but oh well.
yeah,
I can't do anything about
You were
it.
so careful about that little girl being on the air, which was so sweet, right? So
Yeah, there was a little. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, give yourself some kudos for that. And I'm sure the person who is upset with you maybe they're having a bad day, and they will hopefully realize that you're awesome at what you do, and you're not in it for the followers, because we listen to you every night. Get rid of people.
Yeah, I mean, I always
So-
wish I had more. There's a thing. It'd be great if you could have 1 million subs, but I want subs that are genuine subs, right? Like just real people that support the channel, not just hey, I'll hit the sub button.
Yeah.
So if I piss one of them off and they leave, that's fine. Because there's a lot of you I could piss off, but you wouldn't leave because you like the channel.
Right.
It's like it's just okay. Today that's how it was, but it's like a family. Tomorrow everything is just fine.
Well, when you make me mad, I decide not to wear We Are Freaks sweatshirt or use my Oogla Booga mug,
Yeah. Jeez, when did I do that, man?
I put in timeout until I'm not mad at you anymore, okay?
Okay, you better get that mug back out.
Well, I have two of them, actually. I use one of them as to water my plants with.
Is that good? I think so.
And then I have another one that I drink my sleepy time tea out of. And obviously I'm tired, so I will let you go.
Well, thanks for calling in. You cheered me up too.
Thank you.
Just like Sarah. All
Oh,
right.
good.
All right. Well, thanks. Cleaning out the cobwebs. Thank you.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Bye. Cleaning out the cobwebs. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what you were saying up there. Hold on. 231, you're on the air.
Well, hello. I'm shocked.
Who's this?
I haven't. Carol. I've never called before, and I've commented about twice.
What's your
you're
Carol?
so mean.
Carol, your name? What was your name?
Carol.
Oh, Carol.
Carol West.
Are you the? You're not
Yeah.
like. Okay. Do you comment in the chat?
Rarely.
Oh, okay.
A minute ago, I just said about Misty being okay with it. Nobody
Yeah.
else matters.
Oh, I read that one. Yeah.
So I was just calling to give you you like good cops, good sheriffs, the one we like, kind of people.
Yeah.
And I had one for you that I thought you might like.
Oh, yeah? Who's
So I
that?
just don't want to get too off on a tangent because it involves a friend of mine being murdered. But what the funny part, there's no funny part, but the best part in all of it is unusually you would think when, you know how people do impact statements, and he was convicted, and I never knew, and nobody really basically knew, that the convicted idiot, he didn't have to stay in the courtroom for that. So it shocked everybody when the lawyer said, well, you know, my client doesn't want to be in the room for the statement, so we're going to bring him back to the jail. And everyone's just like flabbergasted. The whole point is so that you can say to him what happened, what it meant to you. And so in that kind of a shock, the courtroom empties and, you know, everybody did their statements anyway. But it was just so awful that he just got to walk away. And you talk about smug look on your face kind of a thing. You just wanted to slap it right off his face. So to get to the good cop sheriff part, everyone was just so up in arms about that and so disappointed. And when it came time for him to leave the jail and be transported to prison, the transporting deputies met with the sheriff, and he handed him a disc. And he had recorded the impact statements, and when they got in the car, they said, "For your listening pleasure on your ride," and they popped it in and played it over and over again, the 3-hour ride to prison.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he had to listen to all of those impact statements anyway.
And he's cuffed, so he can't put his hands on his ears. Right.
They just said, "This is for your listening pleasure." And I thought, that was just great. I said, I'm going to buy him a beer when I see him.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, it was a terrible thing. And the whole story, I could send you some information on, but it's solved but unsolved, but it involved more people. So they would have been, if not caught, or could be, if proven, serial killers right in your town. You never think you're going to have that. Or you never think you're going to have a friend who murders. It doesn't happen to, you know, regular people, but it did. And it was really, really, it was 2014 when she died. But it's very interesting because of all the involvement and how it was solved. But there was another missing girl a year before her death. They've never found her. And it all tied together in the end. So they were a pair of relatives, you know, hunting people down and for their weird pleasure, torture, and terrible. But our friend fought and got away, but he had a gun, so he shot her. Because she wasn't going to go with him into that van. She was a tough cookie, but
maybe you could send me a link in my email about it.
I'll have to see if I can gather enough together to get the picture for you, like maybe the summary or newspaper article, because it's pretty complicated. But and the great police work that it ended up with in the end and stuff. But it's a long time waiting when, you know, they're going through their regular police routine, how they have to find out who's closest and work their way out, kind of a thing. And unfortunately, the night before she was killed, we ride motorcycles, so a lot of us know each other through that way. Big, huge birthday party. There was probably 100 at least. A big bonfire and partying. So you have to start out with, okay, well, where was she last night? And you're supposed to talk to all these people. It took a while to weed through and get a line, and of course going back to her husband and doing the bad cop or tell us what you did, and he didn't do anything. And but you're seeing the investigation happening while you're screaming, I know you have to do that, but don't do it. It's not him. I just know it. But it was weird. Very weird.
Yeah, well.
I just thought you might like to hear, because we were just talking about it.
Well, that was a great story.
That was the frosting on the cake. It's just, the sheriff had it, and he said, for his listening pleasure all the way.
Thanks, Amanda.
I thought that was just great.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. And it's handcuffed, so he can't cover his ears. So
how long have you been doing your true crime? Because I only just started. in December, listening on, different channels.
Well,
of
I've
course,
made videos on true crime since, I think, 2012 or 13, but I've been doing the live show for maybe 2 years, 2.5 years maybe.
Well, the girl that went missing before Becky was killed, I think it was the year before, which would have been about April 2013. I think they even did her story on one of the TV shows that comes on about missing people or whatnot. I can't think of it at the top of my head. Because she was one of the kind of stories where she was at a gas station, working at a gas station, and there's no dang working cameras. And towards 11 o'clock or whatever it was when it closed, a customer got his gas and went in, and nobody was there. But her purse was there, and they just never could find her. So, long story, once one thing is solved, it tied back to her. So it was very interesting, but I thought maybe if you were still doing it back then, it was enough to get people's attention, a long way away. Yeah. Because of her being missing. And our prosecutor actually got a conviction on the same guy for killing her, and we still don't know where. We've never found the body. So it can be done.
Yeah. A lot of people think, you got to have a body, but that's just not the case.
It's just really frustrating because his partner in crime, you talk about evidence, it's like everybody knows they're together and they were involved and he was involved, but there isn't a shred of evidence that they could ever find to put him, to arrest him for anything. He actually talked big time and recanted, and you can't use anything.
Yeah,
it's just terrible. But like I said, don't let me go down the rabbit hole with you, because once I get going on it, I get so mad.
Yep.
But the way it started to get solved was another young girl, because he went out trolling, and he got her in his van, and she managed to jump out and run, and she got away. And she was like 16-ish, I think, so we never had her name and never knew who she was. But just the things that she said, somebody got real smart, and for the first time, he was caught on video camera. And he was driving a van. The only thing they found about the gas station area when looking at video cameras was a van. And this description of this van, and they did some really good work putting it together. And when he turned around, they got the license plate, and they got the FBI to enhance it. And so everything started to come together, and it was all the same person. So, I mean, there could be other people that he's not tied to.
Well, there was a case in Oregon a while back. I can't remember what her name is. She was in Corvallis, and she was just working there, and then they found her slippers on the ground. She was working for her parents' property, an actual apartment that I lived in. Way before that, like I was there in '88 or something. This happened. Brooke Wilberger is who I was thinking about. Anyways, and she was there in a van. Basically, she just disappeared. And then later on, there was this other person that was arrested, and somebody escaped or something, and then they tracked it down. Turns out it was this guy, and he was driving around a van, and he's the one that abducted Brooke Wilberger all the years before. And he was just like a serial killer that happened to snatch her working in a parking area of just an apartment complex, just right outside. I mean, it's really, you'd never think that anybody would do anything like that there.
Well, and that's what's frustrating, like Delphi and stuff. Is he really right under everybody's nose? And how come they can't? Some things are so solvable, but it's all about evidence, and you gotta have it. You gotta have it. You just can't go picking people up because you know they did it.
Yeah, gotta have the evidence. Anyways, all right, I'm gonna go over this. I'm gonna go through the timeline here because I don't think people. It doesn't seem like a couple people know this one.
Well, that would be cool. I just thought you might like to hear that our sheriff is pretty darn cool.
That was cool. I did like to hear that. That's one of the best
3
ones
hours
ever.
on a loop. Here you go, pal.
Yeah, that was good
But
stuff.
all righty, we'll be watching. I'll try to send you some info just because it's interesting.
Yeah,
Maybe
send me that.
you did hear the name of the missing girl.
Well, just send me a link on that.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
will. Thanks.
Appreciate it. All right. Bye. Yeah, I think William Zambrano. He was saying like they're just wandering all over the place. It doesn't seem like that to me. I mean, there's over a bunch of days here. You've got, the whole thing starts off right here at this party location. And that was on, what day was that? The 21st? And then on the 22nd, they're still there. And then in the evening, they get a ride back into Hillsborough, right over here. And I guess they're dropped off somewhere near I don't know what was going on. There's like a 4-hour gap here. Hey, thanks, Amanda. There's a gap here. And but at 11 o'clock, they were over here near this light rail train station they got in Hillsborough. And then around 1 something in the morning, her phone pinged, and that would have been on the 23rd. Her phone pinged. Her phone pinged, and that means she was somewhere where it connected to Wi-Fi. Oh, it didn't really ping. It connected to a Wi-Fi and uploaded, backed up to the iCloud. Okay. So that was like 1:30 in the morning. Then at 7 a.m. in the morning, they're over here at this fire station telling them that they had been robbed. The people at the fire station were like, "Hey, that sounds kind of fishy," but Ben had asked to use their phone, so Ben uses their phone, and at the same time, the fire station calls the police, and then Ben's mom and the police show up at the same time. Allison's caught on body camera. Ben didn't say anything to the police because they did nothing wrong. And unfortunately, he didn't say anything, or he would have been arrested for his outstanding warrants at the time, and none of this would have happened. And then the mother showed up at the same time, picked them up. Then at 7:30, drove them. Apparently, went to get them some pie. That's what she told Misty. Is that she picked them up, but didn't tell him where she picked them up. So Ben's mom did tell Misty that she picked them up, but didn't say she picked them up at a fire station. She just said, "Oh, I picked them up, and I bought them pie, and then I dropped them off over at Winco." Okay, so the Winco is right over here at 7:30, and they think that maybe that's where the truck was stolen. And then that was 7:30 in the morning, and then at 9:30 that same morning, 2 hours later, the car is inside this farm right here, and it's caught on surveillance footage at 9:30 a.m. Then apparently they drive the truck up to around in this area and drop it off, and then after a while, how much time, they walked across this way. There's an item in this field here. Then at this location, they make a phone call. But when they got to the house, first they knock on the door. The homeowners opened the door. They barged into the home. They just barged in. Then the homeowner's like, whoa, 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 what's going on? And sort of made him go back outside. And they noticed that Allison had mud all over the side of her face. She was completely wet. She had on Ben's shoes. Ben had no shoes on, just socks. So they gave him a pair of slippers. They said they looked petrified, frightened of something. The homeowner said they heard a car driving back and forth 3-4 times while they were outside, Ben had Allison hide behind a vehicle that was out there, so it did seem like somebody was following them, and that was around 11:05-ish. Then 11:25, so 11:05 they were seen up here by the FedEx driver, and then 11:25 they were seen right around in this area, and that's where the jacket was found over a fence. Is it possible at that point that there was somebody driving up and down the street, and that same person was like driving by and they went, "Oh," and they jumped over the fence at that point? I don't know, but this is the last moment that Allison was seen. Was right at that moment. 262, you're on the air.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, who's this?
This is Amanda Ogilvy.
Hey, Amanda, what's going on?
Hi, I had a question. And it's about Allison Watterson.
Okay.
So when apparently they walked or they abandoned the truck,
Yeah.
which was near the grandparents' house in your illustration,
Yeah.
close to somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere around in there, yeah.
And they walked through the woods across to the house where Allison hid behind the truck.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Has anyone searched that area to find her shoes? Because she was without her shoes and
Yeah.
she was wearing his shoes.
Well, I think they're trying right now
Has
to
anyone
search this.
found her shoes?
Yeah, I don't know if they've found them or not, but I know that recently they've been getting a bunch of searches going on in this, in that area, So, I know that when I was out there, they were looking sort of like around in this area right here. But yeah, I think it's important. I think they need to figure out a way to look through this whole area right here. That's what I've been saying for a while.
Well, I just wonder where she lost those shoes,
Yeah, I mean,
Like, what
those
was
are,
in the whole story?
I mean, the shoes are out there
where she
somewhere.
lost her shoes.
Yeah, I mean, they're out there somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, so.
I do have a second question. If he does not have anything to do with this, and I believe what you're saying is possible. There's many theories, but if he jumped over the fence because the car was coming back and she was left and the car got him.
Yeah, well, her.
And now he's in custody. Now he's in custody for.
Right, but he doesn't want to say anything because he's nervous about the people that were following him.
But
Yeah,
don't you think the people that were following him, if they got her, don't you think they're still following him? Like, if he gets out on these charges he has, they're still following him. They're still going to be there when he gets out. What is he going to do about that? Why wouldn't
he wouldn't be a snitch, though, and that's kind of the key, right?
But why wouldn't he say what happened to his girlfriend if he cares about her?
Well, he's
They're
probably
still
more.
gonna be after
He's
him.
probably more into self-preservation. I mean, who knows? Maybe he has an attorney that just said, "Hey, don't say anything until we get some kind of a deal on all these other charges." That could be the story too. It's not that everybody always wants to know, like, "Oh my God, why isn't he saying anything?" There's sometimes it just isn't the way they're going to do it if they have other charges. If he had no other charges and he wasn't saying anything, I'd be way more skeptical of him, but he's got like 15. So he's probably thinking, shit, man, I better, maybe I can cut some kind of a deal at some point. But it's lame because if she's walking around out there at the time, that would have been, you need to be a little quicker.
I mean, we're 2.5 months later, though. Did he have something to do with it?
He could have.
I mean,
he could have had something to do with it, but we
I
don't
don't
know.
know if she could still be alive right now.
But the thing is he gave her his shoes. See, that means something.
He gave her, which is why I want to find her shoes and where she.
I know, but that's not
them.
that's not what I'm talking about, though. He gave him his shoes because, that means he has some level of caring. If he was if he was some kind of like, even a friend that I talked to of his said that He always made sure she had everything when they were at parties. He'd go make sure she had this and that, you know. Like, he did care about her.
Watching you go out there and walk. When you were walking that area, it was really creepy, actually.
It is creepy out there.
It was... It's scary. And it's scary to imagine her out there at night alone. Because I know there are houses as far as you can walk, but...
Hey, William, we've answered all these questions
You have to walk.
a million times on the show, William.
Driveways. I watched you.
Hey, William, we've answered all those questions about 1,000 times. But I'll go over it in a minute. I got a call. I was about to go through them yet again. Okay. So, go ahead. What were you just saying right there?
No, I was just saying it was scary, and I just can't even imagine it. So I want you to go through the calls. I enjoy watching your show, and I will continue watching.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, it's like it feels like you're in the movie Deliverance when you're out in the middle there. And the thing is about half the houses are awesome, and then the other houses are literally just, yeah, I mean, it's like a junkyard. I mean, it's crazy. Weird shit's going on there.
I watched you back out. You know, and I get that. Wow. You do a great job. I really enjoy watching your show. And
yeah. All right. Well, thank you
so much. I just had a couple questions.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah. So right here was at 11:25. You still there, William? Because I had to get back to it. So 11:25 right here is when Allison she hasn't been seen since then. Okay? She just disappeared. Okay. Then Ben was doing something for the entire rest of the day, all the way to midnight. So you're talking about 11:25. That means it's 12 hours or so. 12 and a half hours to midnight at that point. And then another 7.5 hours after that. Or 7 hours. So literally 19 hours later, after this last known sighting of Allison, 19 hours later, Ben is then found sleeping in a truck on Old Pumpkin Ridge Road. And let me go back up to here, though. So when Ben and Allison were at this house and they called their grandmother, so don't ask any extra questions until I'm done going through this whole thing, okay? So right, when Ben and Allison were here and Ben called his grandmother, he literally did call his grandmother. All right, he called his grandmother from this house, and the homeowners told him, "Hey, have her pick you guys up at Old Pumpkin Ridge Road, the confluence there." Okay, now if you look down, you drive down like this. The confluence is right here, and you can see there's a whole bunch of different buildings and homes, so it's going to be right in this area. Okay, that's where they were supposed to walk down and meet the grandmother. But, so this is 11:25. At 11:46 or so, the grandmother drove up here and asked somebody, "Hey, where's Old Pumpkin Ridge Road?" And they said, "Oh, it's back that way." So at 11:51, she's seen on a surveillance camera turning around and driving back down. Now, Ben, in an interview, said that he saw his grandmother but was too scared to go to the vehicle. I mean, the scared could be numerous things. If he had done something to Allison and he didn't want to go to his grandmother's car because she'd be like, "Well, where's Allison?" Or was it that same person that they seemed to be scared of was driving up and down the street, and they didn't want to run out to the car, and then it would also put his grandmother in danger and everything like that. Okay, so I don't know when that was, okay, but was it right here when he jumped into the bushes? Let's say they jumped into the woods here, and then the grandmother drives up, they see her, but they don't want to come back out because that truck was driving up and down. Okay, so anyways, that's a real thing that happened. He literally called his grandmother, and she literally went out there, and he said he didn't go to the vehicle because he was scared. Okay, so the fact that he called his grandmother to come out there seems like he was trying to get help to do something but then maybe was scared of something. Then, the following day, 19 hours later, Ben claims he slept in some bushes over here and then got up early in the morning and then got into a truck over here at this house right there at 7:37 in the morning-ish. The homeowner then, found him in the car and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" He said, "Well, I was at a bonfire and all my friends left me." So then he got stuck out there and lost, so he just found the truck to sleep in. So the homeowner drove him all the way back into Hillsboro, which is, his house is right there, and it takes about 15 minutes. It's not far. A 15-minute drive. I did the drive on my show one time. You can just see it. You just drive right down here like this, boom, and you're there. So he gets home at about, let's say, 7:38. Then at noon, his dad comes home from work, and his dad picks up Ben, and they drive all the way back out there. See, here's your answer, William. This is the answer to that. This is at noon. He got home at about 7:30 or 8, and then at noon, him and his dad drove all the way back out here, and at some point, like around 4, they got the pickup truck from over here and moved it back over to where the party was, right here, basically hiding the stolen pickup truck. Okay, but him and his dad were out there for 5.5 hours, and absolutely, like, who in the hell knows what they were doing? They say that they were looking for Allison, but really, 5.5 hours? I think the dad knows a hell of a lot more. In that 5.5 hours, what was Ben telling you? He must have been telling you stuff that, that might help. But it might not help your son, so therefore you're not saying anything. And this whole thing is really bizarre. Nobody should ever treat kids, parents of kids of missing children like that, just withholding shit like that. So anyways, they drive out there, and they claim they looked for her for 5.5 hours, and they move the truck over to this location where that original party was that first night. Then at 5:30, Ben's father calls the police and reports a missing person, and then around 6 o'clock, I think Ben's mom calls Misty to say, they're missing. But earlier in the morning, she called, at noon actually, right around that time when Ben and his dad were taking off, I think Ben's mom called again and said, "Have you heard anything?" Like as if she hadn't had any information at all, because she already knew that Allison was missing at that point, but didn't mention that to Misty. Yeah, his whole family, there's something going on there. That's not good. Way too protective of somebody who might have something to do with a missing person. With 15 charges. Yeah, it's a long time. Yeah, and just keep in mind this channel is only supported by you guys, the super chats and channel memberships. That's it. Almost no videos are fully monetized whatsoever, just the little yellow symbol that says your video is limited or no ads. Ice Cube. Yeah, I do have PayPal, but the donation that I make is through that. PayPal's used for like equipment and stuff like that. If you guys send stuff like computers and. That's right. Hit the like button too.
I'm fired out of it,
Hit the like button, 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 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 75, 80, 85, 90.
You want to put 30, sir, 25 of them, you're out. I'm 25, 30, 30.
Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the... I don't know why I like that one. Thanks, Rachel and Claudia Neubauer. That little the guy lifting weights right there. Yeah, that they're trying to protect him. That's exactly what it seems like. And then an item was found in this field right here. Okay? Which is weird. It's a weird place to find an item. And the reason it's weird is because why not just walk down this road here? Unless you are trying to hide. You're kind of keeping off of roads, but you'll walk through a field. But you could easily just walk down this road here. Instead, you're sort of... And there's fences all around here. It's not like you can just... What part is bullshit?
Ugh, I'm late again.
That's okay. There's no late. Yeah. Oh wow, look at that. Stacy Galloway. Here in a second. Yeah. Whoa! I was looking at something else sitting on my head. Woo! And it's the,
You're the best, Gray. Love and hugs for you and the wonderful Freak family.
And you guys remember Stacy Galloway, right? We did I think it was a 4-part series on the Dyatlov Pass mystery. She wrote the book, Death of Nine. And no, she didn't tell me to do that. I just do it every single time. The Death of Nine, the Dyatlov Pass mystery. It's an easy read too, and it's got tons of pictures, so you kind of feel like you're there. You get a little bit cold just looking at it. Okay, let's be honest. Right? You get so cold. I mean, just looking at the book, you start getting shivers just thinking, my God, those guys are nuts. I think people were more hardy back then or something. Yeah, that's right. What the hell is it? You can put... I didn't know you guys could do that. Put emojis. I guess you could just put whatever you want, right? What the hell is this? And... Girl code. I don't know if there was surveillance at the house Ben slept at. But I know that they...
Smiling face with heart eyes.
Oh yeah. So the same camera that picked up the grandmother turning around is the same... that same camera picked up Ben... I guess, and his dad driving around as well. Like that they were driving around out there. So, I mean, I guess that shows that they were out there driving around like they said they were. Oh, you did? Okay. Oh, I thought you were just saying PayPal was an option. Hold on. Thanks, Juju. Oh, look at that. I got a new patron on there. Elaine. And is that you, Juju? Wow, that's very kind of you. Wow. Can I read what you wrote or not? I mean, I don't know if you just wrote that for me, but it's pretty nice. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you've been a patron for a long time. But that was a very nice, says, I'm very much appreciative for what you do here, Gray. You have integrity, maturity, and true crime content. Proud to be part of the Freak family. I enjoy listening and watching your channel. There isn't one case you've covered that hasn't intrigued me because of your natural gift in mapping everything out. Well, thank you very much. I mean, that was very, very nice. Hey, all right, the day's starting to turn around. I'm feeling better now. And then Elaine just became a patron too. Very cool. All right, here we go. 5:59. You're on the air.
Hi, Gray.
Hello, who's this?
My name is Sylvia Marie.
Sylvia Marie.
I'm a new member and patron on Patreon, and been a follower since the unspeakable case that came out in August that everyone was obsessed with, and kind of discovered the whole YouTube community at that time, the whole YouTube true crime community, and discovered you. And then after, I love how, yes, exactly. And I'm looking
you saw that? You saw that? You saw me put that in there?
Yeah. Yeah, I lowered the volume, but so that I'm not, interrupting your show, but with my volume on my tablet. Anyways, yeah, that's how I found you, and it was actually through one of those crazy YouTubers that I don't know how it popped up on my, how YouTube is, popped up as a suggested video. I'm watching these videos by this gal, and then she had an interview with you at one point, and I was like, who's this guy? And then I just kind of got hooked on the show because of the community, and also just the way that you run your shows and the way that you talk about cases is really interesting to me, because I like the facts, I like to see sort of details, and I like the ins and outs of things. I'm really into the forensics of things, but also, the psychology. You kind of cover a lot of different areas, and because of all your followers, it seems like there's a lot of your followers that have a lot of information that you would normally be able to get just as a, just like someone like me, like a normal person.
Well, that's what was kind of weird. Remember that one, let's see, Walter R. Hibbert, the guy from 1929 that killed, or 39 maybe? What year was that? Well, anyways, it was some old case. And, God, it was crazy how the freaks, I don't even remember who they were. I've been looking, whoever helped me out, it was amazing. They literally found, because we were wondering what happened to this guy, because he killed his wife, stabbed her in the chest, and then he cut her up into little parts, and then he sort of disappeared, and then we found out that he died in 2009. It's like, my God, this guy, what was he doing? Anyways, this person found got a hold of a library. They got this kind of stuff and this one, all this information, and looked into these old records and found his time that he spent in a mental hospital to see if he would stand trial. And it was just crazy. All the notes, everything about like how he was doing in there. Then I think he spent 25 years in prison, and then he got out and got married, had kids in 1960 something, and just lived a totally normal life after he had just slaughtered his first wife.
Ugh.
Amazing, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
yeah. But it was weird how many people helped out to get all that information.
Yeah. I know. When I first started getting into true crime, I was actually in college, and my boyfriend at the time was taking a forensics class with I forget his first name, but Dr. Hickey, and he's one of the criminal psychologists that did the did like a profile on the Unabomber, and actually his profile was the main profile that caught the Unabomber. And so everybody was coming to this college. I was at Fresno State. I see somebody's from the 559 area code, but I was going to Fresno State. That's where he was teaching, and they have a really awesome like criminal psychology and FBI forensic school there. Just kind of random, but that's kind of when I started getting into it. That was about 20 years ago, and ever since then I just would pick up a book if I saw something that looked interesting, read it. I mean, obviously you see the Anne Rule books, everybody kind of starts there, or reading Zodiac, or reading something like that about serial killers. There's a lot of books out there about that, or the mafia. And then of course Forensic Files and all the shows and blah blah blah, but it's just there's never been anything like this with being able to just get online with you guys every day, and it's sort of like the normal everyday people that are interested in crime, and some of us are wanting to help and try to figure out how can we help, and this is a great way to be able to help, because I know that you're working on several cases at once. You've got your podcast, or you have cases that you're working on directly with that, and then you have the Watterson case, Delphi case, and who knows, whatever the heck else you're always working on. So
hey, I just remembered something too.
Part of it.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's been really neat for me too, because I just doing the show, I reached out and try to communicate, like Colleen Fitzpatrick, for example, from the DNA Doe Project. And so I just got another email today from one of the people that works there. And so who in the chat right here is one of the people that looks up ancestry stuff? Is anybody in there? I mean, literally does the genealogy. I can't remember who was doing that in here. But anyways, this one says the DNA extraction at the ICMP was successful, and it's now awaiting sequencing at Hudson Alpha. We hope to have the results soon. That's from that Summit County John Doe. Remember that the Sky Shoots?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the one we raised that $2,700 for.
I know, it's so cool. It's so cool.
Yeah, so it sounds like that's even a little bit more. Does that mean that? I think that means they actually have viable DNA at that point. It.
Yeah, it sounds like we've got something going on there.
Yeah, so
that's the thing. I've been telling my husband for a long time, like, I'm really. If I wasn't married and have a kid right now, like, I would probably be spending most of my time trying to figure out how to get into some kind of career in law enforcement.
Well, why don't you do it anyways?
I know.
No, I know, but on the side,
on the side would be great. I mean, I really do have like a knack for it because I like it so much. I think it's just natural, like it's just naturally a freak.
Well, how old are your kids?
My son is 15.
Well, there you go. So right now, just start do some like online classes, and then when he's done, boom, just hit it. There's no reason. You can do anything you want at any age. It doesn't really matter. Just go do it.
Yeah, that's so true. I know forensic psychology, or like even just analyzing interviews and things like that.
Oh, come on. Don't say Duper's Delight, man. Don't throw out Duper's Delight.
No, not that.
Okay.
I hate that phrase. I get so irritated with that.
Anytime somebody smiles, oh look, it's Duper's Delight. He smiled.
or the past tense thing. Everybody gets really obsessed with, like, oh,
Yeah.
he said that.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
that
I can't
was-
stand
no,
that
it's
one.
just- no. There's this really awesome a guy out of Quantico that analyzes interviews, and he looks at transcripts, or he'll look at videos of interviews, and breaks them down and kind of looks at the psychology of the person and how they're talking, and there's this whole thing, an hour-long description about why he believes whatever it is. He does big cases kind of for his YouTube channel to get popular, but he really teaches all these people in Quantico how to do this, and it's really interesting because it's just interesting that you can get so much information just from an hour or 2 or 3 with someone, and kind of just by the way that they use their language.
Well, yeah, you must have liked
They
my
just like-
when I was looking at Alex Cox, and when he walked by and the officer said, "Hey, what happened?" Well, he was accusing me of something. He was accusing me, and then he got lucky because there was a little bit of sound, and then the officer said, "Here, let's get over here." So what was he accusing?
yeah,
What was he
fire
accusing you
and
of?
stuff.
And then he just kept walking.
Yeah.
He heard him, because when they finally got to the other spot, he goes, "I don't know." He was just mad.
Like he was just about to say something that would have.
Oh, it would have been
sounded
incriminating.
suspicious.
Yeah, it would have definitely sounded suspicious. And he had that little bit of break to be able to spin out of it. I guarantee it, there was something there. Something there. And
Yeah, for sure.
especially when he admitted that he heard the question. See, that part, the officer should have said, "Well, what took you so long to respond then?" Because he said, "So what was he accusing you of?" And then they literally walked for like, God, what was it, 8, that's a long time of uncomfortable silence, like 7 or 8 seconds. And then he says, "I don't know." So that means he was thinking about what the officer just asked him for that entire silent 7 or 8 seconds. He was thinking.
Yeah, because he got time to walk.
Right.
And-
So
and-
and he came back and he said, "I don't know." He was just yelling.
Almost like, oh, I don't know what we're talking about.
He was just yelling at me. Yelling about you about what?
Yeah.
Just totally. Then he just spin out about it, or he was upset. Some dumb.
Yeah, he starts bringing in the daughter, and starts talking about all kinds of other stuff that makes no sense, and some other fight that happened earlier in the day, and that he somehow came in to help with the fight. He puts himself in that hero place where it's like, oh, I was there to help. I'm just living, I'm just doing my stuff. I just happened to walk in,
Yeah.
Like, I just happened to be there. I just happened to kill this guy. Like, that's how he acted. And it's just bizarre. So weird. It's just weird to watch all those interviews. I love listening to talk about that and then seeing what people think, I mean, obviously you get the crazy people who say some weird stuff, but, and that's also why I love your show, because you'll say things that I'm thinking that, certain people say, oh, it's, I don't know, whatever they're talking about, something crazy, and then you'll just you'll point it out instead of ignoring it, and it's really, really satisfying, because for me, I'm a very nitpicky person and very critical, and not in a mean way necessarily, although I think sometimes people think I'm mean too, but it's just I need things to be, especially when it comes to true crime.
Yeah.
And when it comes to, talking about cases and people being guilty or not guilty, and, a lot of, especially cases when it comes to children, you want to be sensitive, you got to be sensitive. And you gotta talk about that stuff in a way that is, only the facts.
Have you ever watched that? There's a guy that does really good, I'm just changing a little bit. The Interrogation, he does, his name is Jim Can't Swim or something. He just makes videos.
Oh, yeah.
That guy, man, those are awesome. How he analyzes.
Those are some of my favorite YouTube channels, too.
Yeah,
for sure.
interrogations, man. Yeah.
Well, if I remember the name of the one that I was mentioning, the Quantico guy, the one that does the interviews, kind of looks at them and analyzes, I'll send you on the email. I'll send you the channel so you can check him out.
Yeah.
If you like Jim Can't Swim, you'll like this one too.
Oh, good.
Anyways, I heard someone calling in, so I'm gonna let you go.
Hey, you sound like Kyro. You sounded like Kyro. All right. That's his move, man. You can't use that one.
Yeah, well, and I don't want to hog up the
Yeah.
lines. So,
All right. Well, thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
yeah. Thanks, Grace.
Yeah, thanks.
Have a great night.
You too, bye. 928. You're on the air.
It's your sassy nightmare.
Oh my God! It's Sassmere. How's it going, Sassmere?
I hadn't called in for a while, so I thought I'd better call you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
And,
Well, don't read the chat. Just talk.
no, okay.
You're like a professional
I've
chat
been-
reader. As soon as you call in, man, you get quiet because you're just reading the chat. You know.
No, what I've been seeing, though, is a lot of the new ones, they have not been looking through your old videos. And you've got so many. I
Yeah.
mean, there's probably some that I still haven't seen yet.
Yeah, hundreds. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, they can go back and look at the ones that you've done and probably find cases that you've covered, you know, that they're looking at.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, we've covered just, it seems like hundreds of cases too, not just you know, sometimes there's ones that we, you know, like we've covered Gannon Stauch a few times, you know, 5 or 6 times probably, Evelyn, but you know, I don't neglect something else, you know.
But what I'm saying, though, is some that you've done years ago.
Yeah, like Jody Arias did a ton on that one, a bunch on McStay family. I mean, I'm just stopping there. I sort of sell myself short. There's you know, I have hundreds and I did a ton on the Kanika Jenkins one because I was sort of this only rational thinking YouTuber that covered that case.
Right.
And so I felt like I was sort of this debunker. I was meant to be somebody put out there to debunk all the nonsense, to give people at least a alternate view of the madness that was out there.
Well, I mean, think about McStay case. Think about, oh my God, Rachel Del Tondo.
Oh yeah, Del Tondo. We got to get back. I got to try to, you know what I need to do is get a hold of the reporter that does the Beaver County. He seems like a pretty cool dude.
Yeah.
It'd be good to get that back in the news again, and then maybe that would get back. People might read through his website again. I think he'd be interested in that. It's kind of died down quite a bit. I'm surprised that one hasn't been solved. That seems really... That should have been solved by now.
Oh, yeah. But, you know, I watched the new ones come in, and I'm like, they really need to go back and just look at his videos. You know, type in a case in Gray's, and you'll find something. I guarantee you.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there. That's for damn sure. I know you're reading the chat now.
No.
You know I can tell? Because you got quiet.
No, I'm just thinking about other ones that you're... Oh, you did Crystal. Crystal Rogers. You've done...
Yeah. Yep.
I'm trying to think who else. You've done a bunch on them. Jeez, I can't think of all the ones that you've done.
Yeah, the thing is,
At
I
one
remember
time-
them. I just don't remember what they're... A lot of times it's hard to remember the name. I just remember the case. You know? That's what's hard sometimes. There's so many. If you said it, I'd go, oh yeah.
The one that, oh God, that's when I came in. The
Oh.
one that they looked for, that the guy kind of kidnapped her off the side of the road, and it was the whole ink pen and library and
Wait, what's
you
that?
know
Yeah, what was that one again?
the librarian thing with the ink pen and
Oh yeah. J.
oh God, what was her
Doesn't it
name?
start with a J? Well, yeah, Molly Tibbetts is what Toy Airy just typed in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Molly Tibbetts. Then we also did Mihalovich. Remember?
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
That's a pretty weird. That's a pretty. That one's interesting too. There. Amy, I think it's Amy Marie Mihalovich, right? Is that right?
Yeah. You even done some on the girls in Ohio, wasn't it? The ones that they try to say is just like Delphi.
Oh yeah, Elizabeth Cook, I think. Or
Yeah.
Was it, yeah, it was Lyric. Yeah, let's see. Elizabeth. How come their names? Let me type
Elizabeth
in
and Lyric.
Yeah, Elizabeth and Lyric. But let me. Yeah, Lyric and Elizabeth. I can't remember what Lyric's last name is. Isn't it? I think it's Elizabeth Cook, right? Collins.
see it
Oh, that's
like that.
Elizabeth Collins, Lyric Cook. Okay, yeah, there you go. Thanks, Running Fox. My brain just didn't work right there.
I just see something pop up in chat, and that's Prisma.
Yeah, Prisma Reyes. We got really good stuff on that. Like, we really dialed that one in. That last show where we had all the different surveillance. I've even interviewed the dad. Then I interviewed one of the people she was talking to on the phone while she was on surveillance there. That's another, just a bizarre one. I mean, that's another, that's right there with this one. Watterson, and Maura Murray, and Prisma Reyes. It's just crazy crap. Just somebody just disappears. That's right, yeah, Missy Beavers. Yeah, we've done I mean, literally just tons and tons of different cases. Whenever you find a YouTube channel and they only cover one case for like 2 months,
Family.
that's not really that's not a true crime YouTuber. They're a
Hart Family.
Yeah, the Hart case
Ray
covered
and-
that a million of times.
Oh my God.
Remember that song? Hey, Yama, hey, Yama, hey. Remember that? That guy that was singing?
Oh yeah.
At that festival? Oh, that was crazy. Oh, man, every time I watched that,
Yeah,
it made me want to puke. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to laugh sometimes. And that's, you'll see me giggle every once in a while in chat. And it's not because I'm not taking it seriously.
Oh, yeah,
just
Cheryl
have to-
Coker.
You just have to. You have to find a giggle somewhere.
Yeah. Somebody said, thanks, Gray.
because-
Now it's stuck in your head. Yeah, you guys remember that one.
And that's because it was just that poor child up there. And what was his name? I can't remember now.
What happened in that one? What are you talking about?
With Hart, the little
Yeah,
boy.
Devontae.
Yeah, DeMonte.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made him go up there and all that singing and bullshit going on. And
Oh God.
I was
yeah.
like, oh my God.
That's what's weird about him is I feel like it's possible they killed him separately somewhere else because
That's where I
he was the
thought.
one, he was the golden child, but at the same time he's the one that brought down all the fury
thorn
on
in
the
their
family.
side.
He's the one that finally brought law enforcement into the picture. And therefore, they had to do something special with him. And then because of that, knowing that he's dead and the wrath will be on him, and they didn't want all the negative attention anyways, then they killed the rest of them by driving off the cliff. I just think he might be somewhere. I don't think he's alive. I just think he's somewhere else.
Yeah, they probably got rid of him before they even went down that road.
I bet you, what was it? It was Sarah and the hell's the other? Jennifer. I bet you Jennifer said, I'm going to take Devontae away for a little bit. But Sarah knew. And then she killed him somewhere. Then came back and then told the kids, hey, he's going to go away with some other family. And then, so they all got in the car. Of course, they all got drugged a little bit. And then later she just drove them off the cliff.
Well, what did they give them? A bunch of diphenhydramine or what?
I can't remember. It was some sort of Benadryl or something.
That's diphenhydramine.
Well, there you go. I call it Benadryl. I don't walk into the store. Can I get some diphenhydramine? Whatever you called it.
Well, when you're in the medical profession, you know what it is. And it's just...
You're a CNA, right?
Yeah.
That's right, everybody.
Yes.
Anytime somebody tells you that they're a CNA, you got to look up to them because they're the hardest working people in the entire medical field. Okay? You got all the nurses. Oh, yeah, great. They're the ones that tell the CNA, you know, the thing is the CNAs do all the hard work. Okay? Nurses don't do that stuff. They come in, they do the sort of the higher level, you know, but the CNAs do the just, it's brutal, you know. Have to move people around. So everyone cheer for the CNAs out there, right? There you go. Woo! That's what I'm talking about.
The thing is, I've been doing this stuff for about 33 years now. It's like,
there you
okay,
go.
I'm ready to retire.
Yeah, well, maybe you should one of these days. And then just chill out. Do some fishing. Do something. Yeah.
I'm going to go find me a beach in Hawaii and be like...
Oh, hang out with Lori Daybell? Good job. Way to go. Yeah, oh, my God. Yeah, go to, what is it, Maui or Kauai or whatever the hell it was?
No, I'd never go to Hawaii, I swear. But yeah, I think I would go towards Alaska, probably.
Yeah, not a lot of warm beaches in Alaska. I'll be honest with you.
No, but there's cold air, and I love cold air.
No, you do?
Yeah.
Cold air, huh? What do you like about cold air? Well, it's cold and it's air. What's that?
Less germs.
Oh, yeah? Less germs. Well, I guess this coronavirus likes cold. It doesn't like warm. Now, maybe viruses are different than germs, like an actual like bacteria type thing.
But seriously, though, when it comes to the coronavirus, if you think you've got the flu, if you think you've got a virus, do not go to the hospital if you just think. Do not go to a nursing home. Do not go to a...
Well, what do you do? What do you do then?
Give it a couple of days, and if you still feel sick, then go to the hospital.
But you should probably call first and have them ask you questions, so that they can maybe, put you through a different way that you're not sitting in a lobby coughing, right?
Right.
Right.
But do not go to a nursing home. Do not go to an assisted living because you're compromising somebody in that house.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Seriously. You know, I've got 10 residents I take care of. And I love each and every one of them. You know, don't, if you think for a minute that you're sick, don't go in there. Stay home or go to the hospital or contact your doctor. Because those little people they're compromised already.
Yep. Well, anyways, I think I'm going to go to bed
on a
pretty soon.
happier note.
Yeah.
Smash that like button.
Hit that like button, Sassmere said. Sassmere.
But I'm going to get off of here, and I got to go to bed soon. I got to be up really early in the morning.
Well, it's always good to have you call. Love you, Sassmere.
Love you too, Gray.
There you go. I said it right, didn't I? Sassmere.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for calling in. You always make it cheerier. Appreciate it.
I try to.
All right. Well, have a good evening. We'll see you in the
You
chat.
too.
All right, bye. There he goes. That's Sassmere. Or Sassmere, as it were. Okay, I am going to end the show. All right, I'm sleepy, but I appreciate everybody. You know, the kind words and everything kind of got me feeling better again. I was really bummed, though. I got to be honest with you. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, the Gates Foundation does donate a lot of money. And that's really kind of the whole thing. I mean, that's what capitalism is, everybody. Like, people make a lot of money, and a lot of people donate money. You know, some people hoard it, but at the same time, there's a lot of people that give a lot of money. And if you don't have the money, you can't give it away. Hey, thanks, Oceanic Moonbeams. Wow, that's a Oceanic Moonbeams. I picture it being really dark outside, and you see the moon beaming off of the, glistening off of the ocean. Yep, that's true, alligator. You want me to do another great show right now, Mandy? All right, thanks. Do another great show. Okay. All right, right now we're going to go... Oh, forget it. I don't have time. Oh. Oh, you know what's funny? I was watching Fox News, and they came back from a commercial break, and Janine Pirro's going like looking at her eye, like in the makeup, going like this, like something about with her eye, and then she went, "Oh yeah," but man, she just jumped right back into script. Like it was amazing. But it was funny to, like, somebody didn't say 3, 2, 1. Yeah. So I'm not gonna do a flyby because it's not really. It wasn't really like one of my normal shows. I think the coronavirus is gonna get much worse. Way more people are gonna have it at some point. And I think a lot of things are gonna get canceled. I think CrimeCon will probably get canceled. It's almost, at this point, it's irresponsible to have a convention with hundreds of people in a close quarters when there's this, virus going around that's a little bit, it's more deadly than the flu is. But I hope it's not. But hopefully everything gets, let's say it gets worse and it's starting to get way better and there aren't a lot of cases in Florida. Maybe that'd be great. But it's also, man, you're going to have all these people flying in from all over the country into the area. And, God, it's crazy. Yep, that's right. June, huh? Wow. Yeah, Iran, Italy. What's interesting is India hardly has any. 1.2 billion people, and they're right there. How did that not happen? Yeah. All right, everybody. I think that is it for me. So, yeah, I don't really have any. I'm not going to do the flyby, so I am going to go through the. Yeah, so thank you to Juju, aka Julie. I'll just leave it at that. Thank you very much for the PayPal, and then a new patron, Elaine. I'll just say Elaine, mainly because I don't know how to actually say the last name, or maybe they didn't want me to say it. And then, let's see, we've got Kyron, Sherlock, Hemlock, Jen Richards became a member, Linda Howell, Sarah Jackson became a member, Sean Beecham, Juju Positive, Amanda Oglesby,
good show,
became a member, Rachel, Claudia Neubauer, and then Stacy Galloway with that massive $50 one, thank you very much, Paisley Dreams, and then just now, Rachel Smarter Outdoor Solutions. All right. She's a freak. Generous freaks. You got it. That's for damn sure. So thanks, everybody. Very kind of you. And that's it. That's it for the show tonight. So I guess we'll see you guys tomorrow, probably in a happier note. Really tired right now. You can probably tell. I just want to pass out. But we'll see you guys tomorrow. And until then, everybody, as I always say, be safe out there. 2, 3, 4. Good night, everybody. Be safe out there.